Hello viewers, welcome once again to your favorite channel, Israeli Math Concepts. In this tutorial, I'm going to solve some word problem as regarding to fractions. Do well to trace back to my previous videos where I made some introductions pertaining to fraction, and as well I've solved some problems as pertaining to fractions and how to apply the rule of BODMAS in solving any kind of fractional problem you are given to solve. All right, on the board, I have some problem. Number one question is a normal routine mathematics. Then number two question is sourced from WAEC, the year 2000. And is question number 5. So I guess that this video will help you as well to engage yourself on how to solve some practical problems pertaining to WAEC questions, so that when you launch into your examination, most especially as a student in secondary level, you would be able to solve problems regarding to word problems involving fractions. Okay, we want to proceed with the first question. The first question says we should find the difference between 4/11 of 2 whole number 1/5 and 3/4. Your ability to interpret this question determines how far you travel whenever you are given a problem of this kind to solve. If you're able to interpret your question correctly, it will also help you to find a correct answer. But if you fail to interpret your question correctly, automatically it will launch you into error. So I want to first of all interpret basically this question number 1 before I go into the solving. Let me repeat it once again. The question says, find the difference. What is the meaning of difference? Difference is simply the answer you get after subtraction. So automatically, if you subtract one thing from the other, that answer or value you find after subtracting it is called difference. So we are asked to find the difference between this number, 4/11 of 2 whole number 1/5. They are still one term grouped together. So we are finding the difference between this term in total and this other fraction. That is what we are about to do. First of all, let's work on this before we get to this. Working on this, we have 4/11 of 2 whole number 1/5. This implies 4/11. Remember, wherever you see of in your mathematics, just change it to multiplication. Very simple. Then this is a mixed fraction. Let's convert it to an improper fraction by saying 2 multiplied by 5 will give us 10. And 10 plus 1 will give us 11. So we have 11/5. But you can see obviously that 11 can cancel out the 11 here. And then we have 4 and 5. That is 4 divided by 5. Because 11 divided 11 is 1. 11 divided itself is 1. 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. All over 1 multiplied by 5 is 5. So basically, 4/11 of 2 whole number 1/5, we've solved it and we've gotten 4/5. So we are asked to find the difference between 4/11, but we are not considering all this number because we've gotten this number already to be 4/5. So we want to check for the difference between 4/5 and 3/4. Remember, the difference is just the subtraction that you should include in it. Hence, we have 4/5. 4/5 minus 3/4. Minus 3/4. This is basically what we are asked to find. To find the difference between 4/5 and 3/4. In other words, we should find the value or the answer after subtracting 3/4 from 4/5. That is the meaning of this given question. And 4/5 minus 3/4 can be solved as, remember, the LCM of 5 and 4 is 20. such that 5 divide 20, we have 4. And 4 multiplied by 4, we have 16. Then we put our minus. Then 4 divide 20 will give us 5. And 5 multiplied by 3 will give us 15. And this is equal to 16 minus 15 is 1. And that is 1 over 20. Therefore, the difference between 4 over 11 of 2 whole number 1 over 5 and 3 over 4 is 1 over 20. That is our answer. Very simple. Let's also solve example number 2. Remember, this is the first example we solved. Let's also solve number 2 example, which is practical WAEC question written on the year 2000, and it is number 5 question. Let's proceed with reading out the question first of all. Remember, I said prior that your ability to interpret your word problem determines whether you will find your answer correctly or not. So let's read out this question and interpret it before we solve further. The question says, what fraction must be subtracted from the sum of 2 whole number 1 over 6 and 2 whole number 7 over 12 to give 3 whole number 1 over 4? So let's begin with the interpretation of this question. They say what fraction must be subtracted from the sum. First of all, take note of this term, sum. What is sum? Your sum is the answer you get after adding your values. Just like your difference is the answer you get after subtracting your values. All right, we are asked the exact fraction that must be subtracted from the sum of these two values. That is this and this. So first of all, let's add these two values because of this term, sum. Let's add these two values. So we have 2 whole number 1 over 6 plus 2 whole number 7 over 12. What I did exactly is to interpret the meaning of this term from this point to this point. The sum of this and this, and the sum is the same thing as this plus this. So let me group them together, because automatically when we solve both of them, it will tend us to just one value or one fraction. Okay, so what fraction must be subtracted from the sum of 2 whole number 1 over 6 and this to give this? Very simple. We don't know that fraction that must be subtracted. So let's assume the fraction to be x. Then when we subtract x from this given sum, it should be able to give us 3 whole number 1 over 4. This is basically what this question means. So remember what I did. I first of all say, let the fraction be x, because I don't know what fraction should be subtracted. Let me just consider it as x. So this x should now be subtracted from the sum of this and this to give us this value. Very simple. Then let's solve further. Remember, the first thing we should do is to convert this mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Hence, 2 multiplied by 6 is 12, and 12 plus 1 will give us 13. Then that is 13 over 6. Plus 2 multiplied by 12 will give us 24, and 24 plus 7 will give us 31. So we have 31 all over 12. Then minus x, and that is equal to 3 multiplied by 4 will give us 12, and 12 plus 1 will give us 13 over 4. Let's continue. Remember, the LCM of 6 and 12 is 12, such that we find their LCM as 12. Then 6 divide 12 will give us 2, and 2 multiplied by 13 will give us 26. Then we put our addition sign. Then 12 divide 12 will be 1, and 1 multiplied by 31 will still be 31. Then minus x, and that is equal to 13 over 4. That is equal to 13 all over 4. Then 26 plus 31 will give us 57. So we have 57 all over 12. Very simple. Then minus x, and that is equal to 13 over 4. Then when we collect like terms, we have that 57 over 12, then 13 over 4 crossing over to the left hand side of the equation, it will change to negative 13 over 4, and negative x crossing over to the right hand side of the equation will change to positive x. Then when we find the LCM of 12 and 4, obviously it is 12, and 12 divide 12 is 1, and 1 multiplied by 57 will still be 57. Then minus 4 divide 12 will give us 3, and 3 multiplied by 13, remember this is 13, this is 3. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, so we have 39. So automatically 4 divide 12 is 3, and 3 multiplied by 13 will give us 39, and that is equal to x. Then this implies that our x is now equal to 57 minus 39 will give us 18. So we have 18 all over 12. And of course, if 6 divide 12, we have 2. And if 6 divide 18, automatically we have 3, because there are 3 6 in 18. So our answer is 3 all over 2. So here is our answer. So automatically, the fraction that must be subtracted from the sum of these two values to give this value is 3 all over 2. So if you want to check if you are correct, take 3 over 2 and subtract it from these two values. Automatically, it will give you 3 whole number 1 over 4. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and as well to share this video. Thank you and see you next time. Goodbye.